go. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mindtality podcast. Number 32, you guys. Let's go. Halfway through the year. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. It's currently 9:35 a.m. I got my co-host next to me.
Eric Ogas. What's
and
up,
as
guys?
you guys can tell, we got our three-time defending Mr. Blake. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? How are we?
And for those who don't know, this is Blake's third time on the podcast. So if you guys look at this, is how long we've been doing the podcast this year. Blake's first podcast was in the depths of COVID, deep in the murky waters of COVID, where he would have to drive 3 hours to the gym, you guys. An hour and a half there, hour and a half back. This man was at it. So if you guys want to check out that video, that's Blake's first appearance. Second appearance was maybe like 4-ish weeks out from his competition. And here we are post-competition. So thank you for joining us once again, Blake. Eric, what you been up to, brother?
I'm just doing some last minute packing, getting ready. I move here next Wednesday out to Kentucky. So just trying to get everything, making sure my cable and internet's turned on. That was a nightmare in itself. Ooh. So yeah, just making sure all that last minute check marks are made. Other than that, just getting ready, bro.
That's what's up. How about you, Blake? How you been, brother? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I got back from Tulum, Mexico, like last week, and now I've just been working like on social media, growing my YouTube. As I told you, I'm looking into starting that podcast.
Yes.
So, yeah, just got a lot going on right now. Staying busy, making sure I'm lining myself up for the future.
That's good. That's good to hear. Let me go ahead and crack this thing open, and then we're going to go ahead and touch back on your YouTube channel. That was episode 2 when we got you to start your YouTube channel, I believe, maybe episode 1. So for me, you guys, tonight, I'm staying home. I'm watching some boxing. I'm watching an undisputed fight tonight. So I'm happy about that. Eric, you don't know this, Blake, you don't know this, but I recently stopped just temporarily. I stopped boxing. I stopped going to the boxing gym. No, I'm not what's the word, burnt out. It's just right now my work schedule, it's too unrealistic. I have to drive from Fontana from 6:30 to get to the gym at 7. That means like I get there right at 7. I'm at the gym for an hour and a half. That puts me at 8:30-ish, get home by 9. And that's it. That's my day. I don't see my dog. I don't see my fiance. I don't see my family. So, there's nothing wrong with having passions. There's nothing wrong with getting into extracurricular activities. But when it takes away from your podcast, when it takes away from your, not your spouse, but so your partner, and even like your pet, you have to kind of slow things down and figure out what fat can be trimmed, what things can be put to the side temporarily. I'm hoping, I already talked to my supervisors, I'm hoping to get a more like more decent of a schedule, maybe get out around 4 or 5. Then that helps the situation out a lot. But for right now, I'm just juggling too many things. I'm still going to be holding it down with the garage workouts. I'm at fiance's parents' house. They got a heavy bag, speed bag, all that stuff, jump rope. Nice. But I just wanted to share with the podcast. I just wanted to share with you gentlemen that, there's nothing wrong with being into some things, but you have to have priorities. And for me, it's the trio. It's the podcast, it's my fiance, and it's, me, my personal health, my mental health, and all that good stuff.
Right. And you worked for this job, and you've been trying to get this position for a while now. And boxing was one of those like side endeavors that was like, exactly. Oh, I enjoy this, and this is a nice thing to kind of alleviate some stress, kind of take my minds off of things. But your ultimate goal was this job. So anything else is secondary, like you're saying. So
exactly. And I don't plan on going pro this week or next month. So though that dream can hold off. Eric, I called you maybe a couple days ago. I got a fire again for this podcast. And I'm not going to lie to you, Eric. I want to jot it down to letting go of something, letting go of boxing. That's an hour and a half. It's only 3 classes a week. So what's the math on that, Eric? 3 classes, an hour and a half a piece. What is that? Where does that put me?
It's at like, yeah.
4.5? Is that right?
Yeah.
4.5 hours, you guys, that I've saved a week. And what's the word? Miraculously, I have a little bit more passion towards the podcast. Like I was telling Eric, like for some reason, like I feel a little bit more enthusiastic making the thumbnails. For some reason, I feel like in the car, I'm a little bit more detailed. I'm like, okay, what should I make a clip? Like, oh, is this good clip material from the original podcast? But yeah, so I posted 3 clips. If you guys haven't seen them, go check them out now. I dropped one of Eric, 2 of me, and yeah, that's that. I've also been journaling a lot more. Thanks to my new occupation, I have close to a half an hour a morning. That's when my client's barely waking up. He's like brushing his teeth and stuff. I'm journaling. Like, I got no time to be scrolling through Facebook and Snapchat at 8:30 in the morning. Okay, only weirdos do that. I did want to talk because we do have our special guest. I do want to jump straight into it. Mr. Blake, give us a rundown on your YouTube channel. I've seen you recently posted a mullet maintenance.
Yeah.
How's your YouTube channel going? What are your plans for your YouTube channel? And we'll start there. We'll start there for right now.
Okay. So I don't really remember where I was the last time we talked about YouTube on the first channel. I want to say like I was just getting started, maybe just launching my first vid.
Barely getting started.
Yeah,
yes.
you were barely getting started.
So, and that was probably back when I first got on here. Was that February?
It was 4 weeks before your competition. So,
well, no,
I could check right now.
Oh, the first time?
Yeah, it was early in the year.
Yeah,
it was really early this year. So I'm gonna say like February, somewhere like early February.
Sounds about right.
But since then I've gained. We're almost at 400 subscribers on YouTube.
Ooh, I seen that. Congratulations, brother.
398, and I've got a docu-series up on the YouTube of my prep. So of the last 2 weeks of my prep, the docu-series is called The Last 14 Days. And it just like is every single day. It's just a day vlog of what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, what I'm eating, what I hit at the gym. And then I just kind of talk about like the mental struggles I have going through it and everything like that. It's very raw. It's like, it's all raw footage. All of my YouTube videos are basically unedited. I'm trying to, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want it to seem like I live in some fairy tale lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bullshit. I don't want to over edit my videos. So like, I like to keep it raw, and I like to keep it just like, yep, this is what I'm doing. Yep. Yada, yada. And then cut, next clip. And it just kind of just rolls. It rolls through nicely for me. So that's my YouTube channel. It's not too complicated. I don't have thumbnails. I don't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
I don't try super hard for the videos, but I think that's what makes it me, to be honest, is like, it's just raw and it's just unedited footage for the most part. I'm just talking and just being me. But right now my most viewed video is my most recent video, which is called Leviathan Lifts. It's got 467 views, which is pretty good. And it's basically me just taking a banned pre-workout and seeing how that goes. And I felt like a god in the gym. I felt like Poseidon walking. It was crazy. But yeah, so the YouTube's going well. I'm happy about it. And I've actually got people saying like I should start making more YouTube videos instead of like focusing so much on TikTok. Just move away, just pushing YouTube so like super hard, which is definitely a good idea. So I'm probably going to be hopping on that. And probably once I get that podcast going, I'll also be uploading podcasts.
Spoiler. Yeah. I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, Blake.
Thank you.
I have the first video was February 1st, gentlemen. Blake was, I want to say, the first guest on the podcast. The second appearance was April 13th.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah. February 1st, I was approaching 50,000 followers on TikTok.
Yes.
Now I have 110,000 followers on TikTok.
Dang.
And man, just basically no Instagram. I think I was restarting Instagram, or maybe even about to restart Instagram.
Yeah. Your Instagram was bugging.
Yeah, it was bugging. Well, I restarted it like I think probably like a month later, and now I'm at 5,300 followers on there,
Nice.
and it's all
That's
going up,
crazy.
all going
That's
up.
good.
Awesome.
That's
And,
good,
and
Blake.
and you recently had competed in that Tommy John Classic. So
Ooh.
let's break that down. How'd that go?
So that went pretty crazy. It was definitely an experience I was not expecting. I was tan as hell everywhere.
Yeah, man, you look solid. I'll
Every
have these videos, the images up, you guys. I'll have the images up on the screen. Go ahead, Blake. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, I was tan in places I didn't want to be tan. And it was cool though. Like the last day going on show, like going up on stage, like it felt good knowing that like I had done it, like I completed it. And I didn't even really care. Like when I was up there posing and whatnot, I didn't care what was happening around me or anything. I didn't care about anything other than just like smiling and feeling the moment and just feeling good about myself doing that. Um, the placings went well for my first show, being that it was my first show, and it was a local show. It wasn't a crazy show, but there were guys there that definitely looked, pretty nuts. There was I competed in men's physique, so there's 3 divisions. There's men's physique, classic physique, and open. So you have your open bodybuilders are your biggest guys. Your classic physique are like the more like in between the men's and the open, and they're a little bit more artsy. So like Arnold Schwarzenegger type guys. And then men's physique is what I did, which is like just board shorts, like beach body type stuff. So what's up?
What was the like average age for everyone that competed in that? Because I was curious for that.
Yeah, I was too, dude. So come to find out, I'll get to that. Yeah, so I competed in 2 classes, novice and open. Okay, so in my open class, there was 3 guys in my class, not a super big class, but the main guy who I was competing against, his name was June. He looked great. He had a good posing routine. He just looked good. He was 28. I placed second to him, and he had, I want to say like 15, 20 pounds on me. So like, that's a lot of room. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of room for me to grow.
I mean, if he's 28 and you're 20, then it's like,
yeah,
he's got 8 years on you.
Blake, you're 20?
I'm 21.
Oh, okay. 21, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's got 7 years on me. By the way, he's got 7 years on me, and that's like,
he's slipping.
When I took second place,
my man's slipping. We're coming after him. Let you know that we're coming after him. The TNP's
Dude,
after him.
I cannot be like, I'm only pressed over myself for not doing better. I can't be pressed that he outdid me, because he looked amazing. He did a good job. His posing routine was fucking aesthetic as hell. It was poised. It was confident. He had a good shape to him. He had a nice V taper. For those of you who don't know what a V taper is, it's your lat to waist ratio. So your waist is tiny and your lats you look like a Dorito.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, Dorito, that's like V taper. So they look for V taper. The judges are in this class, specifically men's physique. They look for V taper, aesthetics, poise, confidence, smile, all those things, and you have to bring all of them together. I had a couple of them. I had a few. He had the whole package. So he looked great, and I definitely applaud him for that. But I know personally within myself that I could have came in a little bit more fuller, if that makes sense to you guys. So fuller meaning like more glycogen in my muscles, a little bit more carved up, if that makes sense.
Does that mean your veins are popping more? Just give us like a little
muscle. So when you're carb depleted, okay, when your muscles don't have glycogen in them, that's more than likely in the morning. Okay, so you look flat. Okay, you know what I mean? You don't have much definition. Your arms look smaller than they normally or usually would. Your veins are not as poppy, like you said. But then when you fill up with glycogen and water throughout the day, your arms get fuller, your veins get a little bit more bigger. You know what I mean?
So was it the morning prep that was a little off that morning, you were saying?
Well, it was being that it was my first show. I wasn't too sure on how I should carb up for the show. You know what I mean? My coach, he gave me like a general sense, and it worked okay. It worked okay, but I definitely could have came in a lot more full. Personally, I think I had peaked like the day I had gotten to the Airbnb. I think I had peaked because when I went to the gym, man, it was nuts. Like I had never seen my body look like that in my entire life. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy look. And then from then on, I was just kind of flat and I was a little thin, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Just like looking a little skinny. But either way, I came in shredded as hell. Like I mean, you could see veins coming out of my pelvis. So like, that is shredded, and that's what I came with, and I was chill with it, and it was okay, and it turned out fine. I got first and took the overall in novice, and then second.
Yes, good job, Blake.
Open.
Good job.
So
thanks for representing the TMP.
Yes.
First sponsors. I'm just kidding. I wanted to say, for those who are listening, check out Blake's very first appearance on the podcast, February 1st. It's like episode 15 for something like that. It's February 1st. That's when it was. He was not looking shredded then. He was looking good. He looked like a dude who hit the gym. There was people talking crap like, oh, this guy is not, he's not ready for a competition, yada, yada, yada. And I had told Blake, like, man, on the podcast, I was like, forget those dudes, don't even worry about them. And to see Blake come into this competition, even as good as he looked, for him to even say that he could have looked more full is ridiculous, because you guys, he looked tremendous. For someone who, Blake, do you have a nutritionist? Do you have a nutritionalist that's on salary right now that you pay?
No.
Okay, perfect. Do you have a coach that's on salary right now?
No, the coach that picked me up, he picked me up because my old coach was trash.
There you go. There you go. So that's what I want to bring to the podcast here. For Blake to place first in his division, second overall, and for June to be 7 years older, it's over, you guys. Blake's taking over. Wait until, if this is what the work that he's putting on just himself, like imagine if he had a team surrounding him. Okay, so Blake, I'm proud of you. My question to you, this logo show, is this the correct step towards your goal, like the road to the show? This is those little I don't even want to say mediocre, Eric, because these shows are the ones that you're gonna remember and you're gonna wish, like, man, I wish I was there right next to June, because you are starting a journey. And you already started the process, Blake, of being a critique on yourself. Like, if you can start critiquing yourself, you don't understand like how much that's propelling you forward into your career. Like when you as an individual sit down and say, I could have looked more fuller, like that right there it's inspirational to me. And two, it tells me your verbal language, your body language is telling me that you're focused, that you're enjoying what you're doing, and that you have purpose. You're already telling yourself, oh, I'm going to take a break, and we'll talk about that. Right now you're on a little sabbatical and a little intermission between where you're going in your career, and which is fine. But I just wanted to give you a TMP round of applause for starting something, Blake, and finishing it. Okay. Like that's super impressive. It's documented on the podcast.
Yeah.
You started it, Blake, and you finished it. We've seen you an X amount of followers and viewers, and then now you're up here. So I'm proud of you. And this is what I wanted, Eric, to bring onto the podcast. People who know what they want to do in life, or at least have an idea, and they start something and finish it, and then they decide this is or isn't for me. And Blake said, this is for me. I think it is, but for right now, kind of like Dustin Poirier, I need to rest.
Yeah.
I already did my job. I performed, and now I need to rest. We'll worry about the future when the future comes. And I was so excited to have you back onto this podcast, because it inspires me to continue the podcast.
Thank you.
To finish something that I started.
Yeah. It was 5 months? How much 5 months can you do?
Preparation, dude.
Goodness gracious.
I started prep back in the second week of January. I had started my lean bulk, just a lean bulk prep. And then I did that for 22 weeks of just like pretty strict dieting. man, that was rough. But at the same time, it was like I put on way more size than I thought I was going to put on or even recognized until like I started shredding down. And once I started shredding down, like I could see how much size I actually did put on just from those 22 weeks of me doing that. So that was really like encouraging for me. And I spent 12 weeks of cutting. So spent a total of probably around 26 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I have a question, Blake. So if there's people out there that are, you know, being inspired by you and other influencers in this whole bodybuilding endeavor or this bodybuilding lifestyle and career path, what would you tell yourself back in January or February, right? If you're sitting here now, your status and you've gone through it all, what would you tell the Blake back in February, or the Blakes out there in the world right now that are listening? What would you tell them? What would be your advice to them?
Well, considering how our generation is corrupted by instant gratification of our phones, I would just tell myself to be patient. Just calm down, be patient. It's okay. Like, things are going to work out. You're grinding towards it. It's going to happen. You just have to keep going. Stay positive, keep your head up. I would also tell myself to not worry about social media, like, and what those people on there think about me. Like, don't worry about it. Stop caring about it. Who cares? But yeah, so be patient, stay confident. That's really what I would tell myself back then.
I love it. So you said 26 weeks was the prep around there, 22 to 26 weeks. You guys, the podcast has been up for 32 weeks. Okay. So that just goes to show, and this is only once a day for 1 hour a day we record. And then maybe the next day, maybe the same day, I'll do like a couple more hours to edit and post. Blake is doing this 7 days a week, 22 to 26 weeks straight. I'm talking about as I'm smashing a, what is it called? Those burgers from McDonald's, a Big Mac. I'm scrolling on TikTok and seeing Blake eat that lean turkey again. You know what I'm saying? And 4 weeks later, you know, I'm eating something different, and Blake's, you know, eating something healthy. Right, on TikTok. Right. No, I'm serious, you guys. I'm serious. Like, this is like, and I would tell him like, damn, you know, good stuff, or good job. I'm proud of you. Keep going. And this is just weeks of me just smashing food, chips. You're right. As I'm smashing on chips, I'm like, man, you're doing a great job. Chips. So man, that just, you guys really have to think about that. 22 to 26 weeks, 7 days a week of just grueling dieting, grueling weightlifting. My next thing here, Blake, I told you we'd talk about it later in the podcast. Give us a little rundown of your podcast. Has it started? Yes or no? When do you plan on starting it? What's the content that the viewers can expect for those who are watching? I'll clip this part for you, Blake, so you can post it as an advertisement for your podcast to come up. So just give us a rundown. Give us where Eric doesn't know you. I don't know you. What would you tell us your podcast is going to consist of? Give us the raw material. This is your platform. We love you. You're part of the TMP. Here's your opportunity to give us what your next direction is.
Yeah. The next direction is definitely the podcast. I haven't decided if I want it to be live, but I also am not sure about how well that would work out, considering that the person I would want to do the podcast with is not in Oregon, for starters. Secondly, I don't know. I like to be able to like at least look back at what's going on before everything's just out there, you know? So I was deciding between like a Twitch live stream so I could build the Twitch up, or you know, this kind of situation where we do a Zoom and record it, whatever, and we post it. So there's that. Still, it's obviously, it's just still in the works, but the idea behind it is that it's just like almost like going to get coffee with your best friend in the morning. You guys are just shooting the shit. Yeah. Literally just talking, like whatever comes up. And if it's funny, cool. You know what I mean? It doesn't even really matter. We're just talking. And the concept started with me and one of my best friends, Will Martinez. We FaceTime almost every single morning. And when we FaceTime, we talk about like, oh, like, dude, like I was at the store And you wouldn't believe what the guy behind the fish counter was telling me about the fish in the freezer. And I was like, you know what I mean? And we just go into that conversation, and then we just jump back and forth. And all at the same time, we are smoking weed. So it's perfect, right?
Okay.
It's awesome. So it's kind of like almost like a morning podcast for you to like join in, either, you know, wake and bake with us and smoke and chill, or, you know, listen on your way to work. I want the whole podcast to be inviting. Like,
Yeah.
I want people to come there and like be able to chill. Like, you know what I mean? They watch the video with us and they're chilling with us, almost like they're there and a part of the conversation too.
Yeah.
You know? But I also want it to be like educational sometimes, or motivational. We talk about, you know, we maybe have like 3 bullet points going in, but other than that, it's just winging it. I want it to be raw. I want it to be real, personable. You know, I want my people to be able to connect with me on a deeper level than just TikTok and, you know, some of my YouTube videos. The podcast gives me the ability to like just speak whatever I think as it is. And my supporters will be able to recognize that without like me trying to like, you know, have a script or, you know, act a certain way, you know, just chill, smoke, talk, relax, bodybuild.
Okay. So what I'm getting here is you're kind of stepping away from the fit Blake. You're stepping away from the YouTube
it's like a little side piece.
A little
There's still gonna
decompress.
be bodybuilding to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the whole purpose, like of like obviously the overall like umbrella is still fitness and bodybuilding. So the topics we'll be talking about still will lie under that. But like if we stray away from it, it's not going to be a big deal.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of get maybe a community an idea of like if this applies to them, if it's a fitness community, or if it's just kind of like a more like relaxed, laid back environment. You know, maybe some people will be more attracted to that. Okay, that sounds good, Blake. Well, you already know you have Eric and I support. I gave you all the information that I could, and I'm more than willing to help you and your brother out. Start that up. I told, and this is one of my points. I told you this. One of the very last things I said after we talked, I said the podcast can be very therapeutic. It could be very refreshing to look back of where you were, where you are now, and where you're headed in the future. So those are always 2 things to keep in mind whenever you're starting a podcast, because those 2 things are going to also help you maintain your podcast. Remember why you're doing it. Remember that this is kind of your decompress. You know, for me, the TMP, the Mindtality podcast, is Eric's and I's decompress of the week. We kind of reflect on the week. You know, it's very cheesy. Oh, what'd you do this weekend? Well, sometimes it's important to share with someone what you did. Yeah. You know, not everyone asks you how your week was or what you're doing and what you did, you know? So I'm proud of you, Blake. I'm proud of you for continuing to push forward. My next question to you, what's your vision with bodybuilding? I know you mentioned that you would like to max out your natty ability to see where your body tops out at. I mean, be realistic. Do you see yourself pursuing the bodybuilding career after you know, post tournament or post show? Is this something that you could see yourself growing in, developing in?
100%. I actually
good
I had hit up a very serious coach. His name is Omar Ventura. He coaches 3 of the current Mr. Olympians.
Ooh.
So, and I had hit him up, applied for his you know, his training and everything, his coaching, and he accepted me into his application. And we were getting into it, and he was chill with like having me pay $400 a month. We're gonna start with just like lean bulk lifestyle, you know, not super serious quite yet, because I wasn't too sure on exactly when I was gonna step back on stage, whether that be in 2 years or a year, depending on how much size I put on, yada yada. But some things came up with money, and I wasn't able to like try to like be able to afford him and you know, make that consistent. And I didn't want to waste his time, being that he coaches Olympians,
right?
And he doesn't fuck around. Like, he is no joke. His application process was insane. Very, 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 very detailed. So you know what? I just didn't want to waste his time. So I stopped with that. Right now I'm kind of just on my own. I'm still going to be pursuing the bodybuilding career 100%. I'm currently in the process of trying to get signed with a supplement company. I can't necessarily say which one yet because we're still in talks. So a contract might be coming soon with a supplement company.
Okay.
Which would be insane. And then, yeah, basically the point is just to put on size right now and see how much size I can put on naturally. Like I said, like you said, I want to max out my natural potential. I want to do that. I definitely want to do that. Don't get me wrong, going on testosterone in my head sounds fucking amazing because I would just be a monster.
Right.
Sick, but not there yet. We're not there yet. So we're gonna play it out. We're gonna put on more size with my natural ability, see what I can do like that. And then, you know, if I can't go pro, what I look like there, then we'll weigh out other options and see what we have to do. But the goal is to go pro. And if I go pro and if I look insane, if I'm a hyper responder, I'm not going to go into the depths of that because it's kind of like a different topic.
No worries.
Yeah, if I'm a hyper responder, then the goal is going to be eventually to step on the Olympia stage, which is like the biggest stage in the world. So
nice.
That is where I plan to go with my career right now. But yeah, we'll see what the future holds and how my body reacts. And, you know, there's a lot of variables.
I mean, if it took 5 months to get where you are now, I can't imagine what it takes from 7 years or a couple of years.
5 years to get to where I'm at now, dude. It took me 5 years to get to where I'm at. I started lifting in junior year of high school. So I would say it took a serious 3 years of consistent lifting to put on the muscle maturity and the size and the density that I currently have and that you guys were able to see for my show. Those last few months was more so just like fine tuning and bringing that back because of COVID. We were in COVID for so long, the gyms were shut down. I went flat, you know, the muscle memory goes away, and then it comes back and then you recomposition, you know, and get bigger and fuller. So that's what happened, but it took a lot of time just to be able to get to where I was at. So I'm excited actually to see what the next, you know, 7 years brings me. I'm thinking maybe if I were to ever go on anything serious, it probably wouldn't be until I'm like 27, 28, when my natural hormone levels are already starting to decrease, because that's how the human body works for males, at least. So yeah, we'll see, but I'm excited. Yeah.
That's good, Blake. That's good. Very proud of you, man. I'm excited to continue to follow your YouTube growth. How often do you upload, just for the viewers, if they wanted to check your page out and wanted to know how often to expect a video from you?
Yeah.
What do you drop them at right now? Once a week, twice a week?
Yeah. I mean, like at the very minimum, I'm dropping once a week, but like at the same time, I also just kind of just drop videos whenever I feel like it.
Let's tighten those screws up, Blake. Once a week.
Yeah, I do gotta tighten those screws up. You're right. Because I just be I dropped like 3 of my docuseries videos, didn't announce anything, didn't say anything to anybody, just dropped them, didn't care. And like, I just like left them out there and they didn't get nearly as many views as if I would have just like, hey, like check out the video. You know what I mean? So I do got to get better on that. Yeah.
Hey, it's part of the process. It's part of growing. Like Eric and I discuss all the time. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. It's not about uploading 32 consecutive. No, how about you just upload in general when you can, and then you tighten the screws. Then you understand, you know, what works for you. For us, for Eric and I, it's once a week. That's our balance. Twice a week would be too much. No uploads a week wouldn't be enough. You know what I'm saying? So just, and that's part of growth, you know, where right now you're kind of dropping them here and there. Eventually you're going to get to the point, Blake, where you just realize, okay, boom, Tuesdays for some reason are just open. That seems to be the day for me. That's part of the growing process. I'm excited to follow your YouTube channel. I'm excited to hear about a DM from you saying, hey, I need a logo for my podcast. And I want to definitely extend my hand to you, Blake. Whenever you need a thumbnail, if I can, I will, brother. I'll drop a thumbnail for any of your videos that you're dropping. I would be more than happy to help you work on your content for your podcast, logo.
Love bringing up everybody, bro. We'll all bring up each other, dude.
Yes, exactly. So we're gonna help each other grow. I mean it, Blake. You've been the only person that's been on the podcast for 3 times. This podcast is my baby. It's Eric's and I's baby. So we're happy to have you on here, dude. And I'm excited to see you grow, Blake, because I know you've been going through a lot of persecution lately. A lot of these fake fans unfollowing and talking shit on the comment section. Well, they're the one that's sitting on the couch writing it, while you're in the gym, while you're dieting. So screw them, you know what I'm saying? Because they're just as lost. Hurt people. Okay. So let's just start there.
Right. You are very right, dude. Couldn't be more correct about that, honestly.
We're coming up here on 2 minutes left. Not much time. So
drop it on us, Eric. Come on, drop it on us.
Just wanted to wrap it up and start saying we enjoy having you on the podcast, Blake, like Rodolfo has been saying. And we look forward to having you again on the podcast because I'm
excited to have you guys on my podcast.
Oh, there we go. Done. We'll be there.
So what do you got before we jam? What do you got, Eric, going on this week? I know you mentioned you're moving. Is it this Wednesday or is it the following?
The following Wednesday, I'm out.
And how long is this drive? This is post podcast. How long is this drive, you guys? Look at this dude.
Like 3 days, 4 days, right?
It is 30-hour drive.
Yeah.
30 hours.
Oh.
I'm not. Yeah.
That's a lot of music, podcasts, movies.
Yeah, it's gonna, and it's not even like we're not gonna be in the fast lane. We're towing a trailer, so we're
no.
So we're right. So we're gonna be in that truck lane, just cruising 65, 70 maybe. So
make sure you take a lot of pictures.
Going 65, bro. You're gonna be going 55, 60. I promise. Or you guys are gonna get pulled over. Tickets left and right.
Oh my goodness.
They will. They'll pull you over if you have a trailer. They'll anything over like 60, dude. They are like.
You get rang up for that for going faster than 60.
Isn't it 55 for trailer?
I thought it was 55 for trucks.
I don't know.
Like the large truckloads, but I don't know. It could be. I better do some research then.
I thought. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Imagine Eric's arrested. I drove to Texas, 14-hour drive, and we just drove in like a little SUV, like 80 miles per hour the whole time. Took us 2 days. It was horrible drive. But one thing I wish I did is I wish I took a lot more pictures. We did see a lot of beautiful sceneries and different gift shops and stuff. So Eric, do that for us. Maybe we'll post a couple pictures on the podcast. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Mindtality podcast. I'm your host, Rodolfo Felix,
and co-host Eric Bogaz with our special guest
Blake.
See you guys in the next one. Peace
guys.